Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I stuttered there for a second. And today, we're going to review the latest Pixar film, Luca. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and a good friend of mine, Devin. Happy Wednesday, my dude.
I just got really sad because I was going to say hello in Italian, but realized I don't even know how to.
That's
to Google.
To Google it is. Silenzio Bruno. What's wrong with you, stupido? Yeah.
It's ciao, of course.
Ciao. Yeah.
We're stupid.
I
ciao.
Ciao. I felt like it was ciao, and I know we sound really.
My ancestors are just turning in their graves.
Of course they are. You don't like Alfredo sauce. Come on, Devin.
It's unnatural for them.
It's so good. So Alfredo sauce on a nice pizza. Good stuff. Not every pizza, but there's specific ones where I'll definitely take it. But I don't know, man. I think your ancestors are. It's just weird. Like what is it about Alfredo sauce that makes you just want to turn your head? I don't
know. I don't like mac and cheese either.
You don't like mac and cheese?
No.
What, Devin?
There's just something about it.
Why am I now just hearing this about? I can't do it.
It's my hot food take.
I don't really have any hot food takes. I guess I'm not super like crazy about like guac at all because I just don't like the texture, but I feel like there's a lot of people who are like that. So I don't know, man. But I mean, come on. The whole disappointing me. Like we're talking about Luca. You were supposed to be in the mood.
I'm in the mood. They had some good pasta in that movie.
They really did. They really, really did.
No sauce needed. That's how good it is.
So, well, you like marinara sauce though, or just sauce, but not Alfredo sauce. Like not even on pasta.
No.
Chicken Alfredo is probably my favorite dish.
Chicken Parmesan's my favorite dish.
Chicken Parm is very, very good. Everyone loves lasagna. I'm trying to think if there's any other like quote unquote Italian foods that I'm really into, but I can't really think right now. I mean, I guess you can name like penne pasta, whatever. But I need like a good like cuisine, like a good dish. You know what I mean? Get it all.
Pasta fagioli.
Pasta fagioli. But yes, as we said, we are going to be reviewing Luca. That it will be hitting as of this recording. It will be on Disney Plus already for free. Yeah, congratulations. For whatever reason, Pixar is not good enough for the silver screen apparently, because we've seen this with Soul, dropped on Christmas Day. I gave Soul a pass because
Soul made sense.
Well, it was, we're still in a pandemic for those of you who haven't forgotten, but it made sense during, because it had been a long, rough year for a lot of people. And, Disney being the kind-hearted, corporation that they are, decided to, release Soul free of charge on Disney Plus. But I didn't think they're going to do it for this film. I didn't think this film was ever going to make it to Disney Plus. If it did, it might have been like a Premiere Plus access, but here we are. But before we begin today's show, you can listen to this podcast on platforms around the internet and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X for all of our latest announcements out there. Man, Optix with an X. I don't know. It's got a nice little ring to it. It gets a little wordy sometimes, but I think it worked.
I am Wes, modern mythology enthusiast and defender of the realm of toy collecting. This is Andy, my fearless friend. Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day I powered up my dynamic mic and said, "Welcome to Fandom Power!" Andy became the mighty producer Andrew Daw, and I became host Wes, the newest pop culture podcaster on the interwebs. Only two others shared this secret, friend of the show and regular co-host Hank McLaughlin, and my lovely wife Kimberly. Together we explore the realms of fandom and bring it to you as only we can. Fandom Power is available on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Fandom Power is a Sawcast production.
But Anyway, so we're not going to be doing a lot of news today. We're just going to be talking about one news story, which kind of covers into Luca. And really quick, before we actually get into the review itself, earlier today, we found out that Disney Plus shifts its original series to Wednesday releases instead of Friday release due to the success of Loki. And I wanted to get Devin's thoughts about this at first, then I'll go. This is because some people think, say, or appear that they are for this, but I feel like Devin feels a little different about this.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird at first. It's just, you don't really think of Wednesdays as a big premiere day.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Marvel Mondays. How cool could that be?
That would be pretty cool. For Marvel shows only, or for new series altogether?
They could have Marvel Mondays.
I like that. I actually do like that. Honestly, I was for this because I'm very, very tired of, it's Friday, it's the end of the week. Yes, we want new content. But at the same time, there's a lot of other TV shows, not even TV shows, just there's a lot of films that come out on Fridays between.
And yeah, that's the biggest factor in their decision, is that movies are pretty much back now. They don't really want to compete with big movies.
I guess it feels more natural to have series drop on during the week, because I believe, oh my gosh. So what? HBO used to do Sunday nights, right? Sunday nights makes sense because who's really out and about on a Sunday, evening? We've seen it with Game of Thrones. We've seen it with The Sopranos. His Dark Materials, when I was watching it, that also premiered on a Sunday. So it made sense. It's kind of like the last thing of the day before you get into the new work week. And I'm like, okay, that makes 100% sense, 100%. For some reason, it is going to be a weird shift because we are so used to having these, with the Mandalorian season 1 and season 2, and then with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was like that one thing at the end of the week we were all looking forward to. But like we said, and like Devin just said, they feel like maybe that movies are back. Possibly, but
I'm thinking we're back.
We're back, baby. There we go. I hit it like one too many times. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's a good move. It is weird, especially after just like 2 episodes in of Loki, but it makes sense at the same time. You have the TV series running towards a week, and then Fridays are for the big movies, especially Black Widow. And actually, I think they did that for Black Widow, and for other movies that they probably haven't announced yet, where it's like, okay, we don't want Loki running into Black Widow through July, but I think, Loki will still be running on through July 7th is when Black Widow comes out. Finally,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, tickets went on sale, so I can't actually get my ticket yet because AMC messed up my account, and they're like, oh, you have to wait. I have to wait at least 4 or 5 more days until I can reactivate my subscription again. So I'm like, I could just bite the bullet and, spend the extra cash out. And I'm like, or I can just wait. Pay the $20 and, snag the next seat that I can. So I don't know. Did you get your ticket yet?
No.
Okay, that's what I figured. I wasn't sure. Yeah, because I think tickets went on sale a few days ago. I think.
Yeah, I don't think theaters are going to be selling out anytime soon.
That's the one thing. But then again, and it's not like this is a new movie. This is a new Marvel movie, but it's a prequel in a way to Black Widow. And I'm glad that we're getting it. I wish we would have gotten it sooner, but better late than never. And I think right now is the perfect time. 100%. So, yeah. So that's pretty much our news segment for today.
I actually have one piece of news to add in here.
Ooh, do tell.
This past weekend, on Sunday evening, it was late Sunday, I beat The Last of Us.
Did you really? Wait. We need the real applause. There we go.
Classy applause there.
Yeah. There you go. Devin, give me your thoughts. Thoughts.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like I missed the huge hype train that it had originally.
Yeah.
it's hard to come in this late and feel all the hype that it had, but it was definitely very good. Feels like Joel's a bit selfish at the end.
You should play Last of Us Part 2. And
I bet there's more answers in there.
There definitely it is like when I say my favorite narrative. Okay, but it's between not Bioshock. I'm sorry, not BioWare. My gosh, it's Mass Effect itself. The story is so freaking amazing. Like best space opera ever. Honestly, I think the story is 10 times better than Star Wars. 100%. I absolutely love it. Last of Us Part, like the Last of Us series so far, like those are like my top 2 like narrative driven storytelling games I absolutely love. But yeah, I would definitely pick up Part 2 because I mean I'm sure, as you know, there's been a lot of duality in this game. It's been split down the middle, but I really did enjoy it, and I think it flows in perfectly with the first game. But yeah, congratulations, Devin.
Yeah. It's always a good feeling beating a game. It's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Sense of accomplishment.
It really is. I'm almost there with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Trying to platinum it, but I think right now I'm just going to focus on beating the game. I'm at like the final boss. So I got to beat it before iCarly comes out, the revival. Tomorrow. I got to beat it tonight. Like this has to happen. This needs to happen. But yeah, so anyway, let's just dive straight on into the review. We got our vocals warmed up, we're getting the banter flowing back and forth here. So let's just dive straight in. Of course, we're going to do a non-spoiler section first for the folks at home who haven't seen it. Again, it is on Disney Plus, free of charge. As of this recording, it will be out because we didn't want to release Luca and Loki episode 2 on the same day.
Very similar titles.
Yeah, Loki, Luca.
Luca.
Luca Islands. Luca Loki. Yeah, so it's we wanted to kind of spread it out a little bit because I mean it'll be up bright and early for you guys out there. But once you hear this little bad boy, that means that we'll go into spoiler reviews. But we'll let you guys know then. So let me dive straight into the story here, and then we'll get into our initial reactions on the Italian Riviera. And unlikely, okay, let me start over. That was really bad.
It's a me,
Mario. On the Italian Riviera, an unlikely but strong friendship grows between a human being and a sea monster disguised as a human. That's like the closest synopsis I can find. The director.
It's weird that they only talk about that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the between the human, and the sea. Yeah, that is true. It's very.
They just leave our boy Alberto out of the equation. That's how he felt in the movie too.
Yeah, it's like
maybe he was imaginary the whole time.
Maybe. I mean, we'll get into it. I almost spilled the beans there, but this is directed by Enrico Casarosa. Excuse me. Writers Jesse Andrews and Mike Jones, and cast Jacob Tremblay. Our boy is back.
The boy wonder.
Yeah, boy wonder himself, and Jack Dylan Grazer, along with a few others. And we have Maya Rudolph, who plays the mother, and
in every movie ever.
Every movie. Have you seen the movie Away We Go with her and John Krasinski?
No, you
haven't seen it. It's really, really good. It's more of like a smaller indie film, but it's really funny. Definitely have to. I think it's on my video account. I can't remember the last time I actually logged into it.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we've been watching movies and stuff left and right, playing games, just living life to the full.
We also got Sacha Baron Cohen and Jim Gaffigan in the cast here. Some comedy legends.
Yeah, so I did not know he was in this movie. This movie has a lot of like shadow drop like actors and actresses in it because I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh, that seems pretty cool. But of course, the release date is on this June 18th, which is the day of this recording. So when you guys are listening, like I said, it's already out. Go watch it, and then come back and then listen to the rest of our review if you want to. So, Devin, actually, let me go. I want to go first this time around, just to mix it up a bit. I feel like we've been in a bit of a rut here, and actually, it looks like someone just retweeted one of my initial thoughts, because we saw the movie early. Of course, thank you to Disney Plus, our overlords, for letting us watch this early. But no, seriously, thank you for letting us watch this so we can review it early for all the wonderful listeners and movie Pixar lovers out there. But so there wasn't a social media embargo on this movie, which I found was actually kind of nice. So you can kind of just tell your initial thoughts. So what I pretty much said was Luca is a must see, and it reminds me a lot of Ponyo, the Studio Ghibli film. If you haven't seen it, Devin, it's really, really good. And it has like just a splash of like The Little Mermaid on the side. I found that it was a very heartwarming story, affecting and kinetic. Got to use those power words in that.
Oh,
tweet,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Synergy.
Synergy. You got to make yourself sound like I have a very huge vocabulary. And then everyone's just like, all right, I need another word for what's a noun? What's a verb for this? And I also said that what really actually drags it down for me is that this would have been the perfect theater summer blockbuster movie alongside In the Heights, because both of these movies are just
what a combo that would have been.
I know, right? It would have been insane. But those are like my first initial reactions of Luca. Devin, I wanted to pass it over to you. Let people know what you're thinking.
It's tough because Pixar has just an impossible task of trying to live up to the expectations, because they're so good at what they do, and every movie just heightens expectations people have. So I think Luca was really good. It might not be at the top for Pixar, which is, it's just tough because they're the best at what they do. So even saying like it's in the middle of the pack for Pixar movie, it's still really good. Yeah. Like I enjoyed it a lot. I just love the setting, the colors, all of it. Like I love their accents. I want to learn Italian after this. Like the language sounds so cool.
Oh, Devin, I'm sure you have a wealth of relatives.
We got Chow down.
You have a wealth of relatives that will be able to set you on the right path. And
I love how they roll their R's. It's kind of like a chill version of Spanish, like more laid back version of Spanish.
Yeah, it's like Silencio Bruno, or you get the how do you get the hand motion going? Silencio Bruno. Yeah, and what's wrong with you? Stupido. Stupido. Yeah, it is very. I did love this movie, and I feel like it is more middle of the pack, and it's not. It feels it's a lot more smaller scale, and I keep going back to Ponyo because it reminds me so much of Ponyo. Because Ponyo is a smaller scale story. It is a tale between two friends, even though with Luca, it's a tale between, two boys and a girl, or two sea monsters and a girl. But if you haven't seen Ponyo, I believe it is on HBO Max still. Don't quote me on that, but definitely go check, because out of all the streaming services, HBO Max is the one that loves to shift stuff around. But definitely watch it if you have it. I think the DVD Blu-ray is like pretty cheap as well, but if you can find it online for free, that's your business. But yeah, it definitely Luca felt more.
It's very small, like the scale of everything, because just on one island and then one small port city, I guess you can call it. Yeah, it's also it's really short, which I actually kind of like. It's like under an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And the runtime. Yeah, I almost forgot about the runtime. It felt like the pacing was there. You have Luca and Alberto. Their dream is to get a Vespa, right? And it's like they want to ride the countryside, and we'll get into more of on the spoiler section, but
you see that throughout the film, and it's just you really see the bond between just the friendship and their little dream, like we've seen in The Heights. I think there's a lot of duality there between the themes of both of the movies, both done very, very well. And
both so colorful.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. The vibrant colors of Luca, it really reminded me of Destiny Islands from Kingdom Hearts. Like, you're not on Destiny Island all that much, but like when you're first starting out the game, it's just like, you have the clear water, like the lush skies and the foliage and everything. And it's like you feel like you never want to leave. And it really is a smaller part of a larger world. And honestly, I feel like we might be able. I really hope we actually get a sequel with this. Like, I'm like dead serious, because I feel like they could go somewhere with it if they told the story right.
I just don't know where they would go.
Yeah,
it ended so perfectly.
It did. It hit me in the feels as well. Like
I was actually like throughout the first like half or so of the movie, I was kind of not feeling it like completely, and then when it gets to the ending, like classic Pixar fashion, it brings it all together so perfectly. It just all comes together.
Yeah. It feels like this movie has, two parts, the first part when they're on the small little island, and then, they venture into the big grand city, and that's kind of like, where everything happens and whatnot. So I really feel like that's something that, they did really well. It was kind of like part one. Okay. You have Luca and Alberto on the island, and they move over, and like, that's where they really start to cause the trouble.
And I did think like the first short part, like in the actual sea or the ocean, it was just kind of weird. It's just like, I feel like watching Finding Nemo. Like,
yeah,
that's all I could think of.
I mean, hey, same studio, so
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely I like it how they didn't spend too much time.
Yeah, I was getting worried as it was in the water. I was like, okay, can we get to the adventure here?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, overall, man, I had a great time with it. I have a few issues with the storyline, but we'll, like I said, we'll get into that when we get into the spoilers. But overall, it's good. I think people should see it. Honestly, even if this was $30 on Disney Plus, I would say go see it, because it is a great film. I believe Ryan the Last Dragon just became free for everyone. So if you wait long enough, usually, you don't have to pay, but you kind of.
That'd be a good double feature.
Yeah, actually, that would be a really good double feature. That's a good point. I like that. Yeah, Ryan the Last Dragon. Raya is not Pixar. It's just Disney Animated Studios. Yeah. And then we have Luca. So
and then Soul rounded out.
Yeah,
the big three.
the only three movies that have dropped on Disney Plus animated or live action that are worth seeing right now. Okay, no, actually, I'm sorry. I have to throw Cruella in there, because that was a treat for sure. Throw Cruella in there for good measure. That one probably do on a separate day, because that is like 2 hours and like 20, 30 minutes. But was there anything else you wanted to, drop your thoughts on before we head on into our spoiler section?
Let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Spoiler section coming at you. So if you haven't seen the movie, turn back now, go watch it, and come back to us and hear our thoughts about everything that happened. So, Devin, we never meet Alberto's dad. Ever.
What was that? I didn't really catch what they were going for with that. He just kind of left him, and
yeah, that was my number one issue.
Yeah, they didn't give Alberto any love. Alberto, that's so fun to say. Alberto, it just like naturally rolls.
He was a little sniving kid. He was like, he's like, I know everything. But
yes, I know everything.
Yeah, and then Luca calls him out, and he's like, hey, what's those
sardines?
Where's those things in the sky at night? It's like, she's like, they're balls of gas billions of miles away. And then Alberto's like, no, it's sardines. He's like, Luca's like, oh my God, you know everything. But like, obviously you can tell that Luca is younger than Alberto. And it's like, Alberto's been in his own for God knows how long.
Jacob Tremblay's younger than Jacqueline Grazer.
Yeah. 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 Jacqueline, he was in Shazam, right? Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was perfect casting.
And both It movies.
Yeah, that is true. Who played the female counterpart?
Emma Berman as Julia.
I liked Julia.
She was amazing. I loved her little Italian euphemisms that she would throw in there.
I keep throwing them.
You have to.
You have to. She's just like, I really did enjoy her character. She didn't feel very like pushed to the side. Like she was like her and her father were both part of the story.
The dad was amazing.
Yeah.
I love how he had to lift up his bushy eyebrows whenever he had to look at somebody. his tiny eyes come out. You're like, oh, hello.
Yeah. And I didn't realize he only had one arm.
Yeah. I love how natural that they made it.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole message of the movie is just make people feel welcome no matter how different they are.
I was seeing some people on Twitter were saying that it's kind of like a euphemism for like sexuality. And I was like, oh, I didn't think of it that way.
I was thinking of that in the
one, because it's like, and the other issue I had with it, because Luca's parents had, such an issue with him, going to the surface world. It's like, don't go to the human world. Don't go to the surface world. Like, it's nothing but, bad, whatever, dangerous things. But they never really delve into as to why it was so quote unquote dangerous.
Well, it makes sense because it's like a fish hunting city, or like a fish hunting town.
That's true. I mean, yeah, like I thought about that. I guess I was looking for more of like a deeper meaning.
But as for the parents specifically, I think they said they had never gone to the surface. The parents hadn't. The grandma did. Grandma's been up there a few times.
The grandma's been living it up on the surface world.
That's kind of like a thing in that happens in life. Like some parents are just too overbearing. They don't let their kids have experiences, and it comes back to haunt them later. Yeah, because they're too sheltered.
Yeah, I've actually I've known a few people throughout my life growing up, definitely like that. And like you kind of just see, and it's like, wow. And then you kind of, like in that situation, like I felt like I was Alberto. It's like, oh, but obviously, like my parents are still here and then just like up and ditch away for whatever reason. But it's more of, you have the kid who's, been told, X, Y, and Z your entire life, and, just do what you're told and, like you'll be fine. You'll be safe, because that was Luca's parents' number one goal, was to keep him safe. And I can understand, like, oh, fish monsters are afraid of humans, vice versa. Because, as we know, Luca goes up to the surface world and he just has a ball. But I really like how they are, when it comes to their, I guess, disguise, it kind of just happens like out of nowhere, which is actually kind of cool. Like at first I was like, are they going to explain why?
They can kind of control it though.
Yeah,
because at the end they were just staying as their monster form.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And then you have the two old ladies throughout the film who end up being sea monsters. I was like,
secret sea monsters.
And then Julia's dad knew. He's been hanging out with the sea monsters. He's been kicking it back with them for a while there. So I thought
he was awesome.
He was really. Who was that? Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, I think Sacha Baron Cohen was the creepy uncle from the deep that kept trying to get him to go with him.
His heart.
Whale carcass. I love whale carcass.
He was. I love it how they kind of brought someone from the deep, where it's like, oh, I don't want to go to the deep. It's cold, and
it's weird that they'd rather. Isn't the deep also dangerous? Like,
yeah, very dangerous.
It's weird that they want to send him there instead of.
I forgot the percentage, but there's like a certain percentage of the ocean, like in the world, that like hasn't like been explored like at all. And that is creepy, but like fascinating to think of at the same time. Like, it's just, you don't know what heck is down there. And
what did you think of the our bad guy here? Big Gary Oak / Red vibes for this one. He's like Gary Oak, but not redeemable in any way. Gary Oak with a Vespa.
Who was? Yeah, he was way worse. Like Gary Oak from Pokemon was just he was built to be this rival for Ash, and always got on. Ash was always like underneath them, and there were like times. I think there was one passing time where like I think Ash had to use the bathroom or something. Excuse me, and he's about to open up the door, then Gary just whams the door right open, and he just walks out. But like, I don't even think Ash knew who it was, and it's just like that's just the Ash and Gary relationship.
Yeah, I don't think Gary ever tried to kill Ash, so he's definitely a little better than this guy. What was his name?
Yeah.
Hercule?
Yeah, like Gary is like a dick, but this dude was just like a straight up bully. Like
he was just like a demon.
Literally, and like he was older than all these other kids.
Yeah,
trying to.
I'm 16. This year I am again.
He was like, aren't you a little old to be in this race? You have all these like 5-6-year-olds, like maybe even 8 years old. But yeah, he was the villain, quote unquote, the villain. I like it how it was kind of like a mixture of like the townspeople and him, and just I guess you can kind of throw Luca's parents into it a little bit. But not like as like, we're here to like harm you. But yeah, he was just an ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon my French, but like he was, oh my gosh.
No redeeming him.
Like, yeah, no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He was just kind of like the spoiled rich kid, like, assuming that he gets everything that he wants. And, Julia calls him out. She's like, hey, like people don't like you. Like they're afraid of you. And that's why they agree with everything that you say. And he has this little, his little squad, his little Italian posse with his friends just doing whatever that they say. But I liked him as a villain because he was just like a bratty, like 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, everyone knows someone like that.
Everyone knows that guy. Well, what was it that Dane Cook said a while, like in one of his stand-ups?
Oh, Dane Cook, what a throwback!
He was like, everyone has like a Brian in their life. Like, oh, freaking Brian's coming. Man, classic. But yeah, I really did enjoy just the villainy side, and it was more of just these kids had these dreams. Julia wanted to, it's kind of like a triathlon kind of race with the eating and then the swimming and the cycling, which I thought was really cool because they showed the strengths and weaknesses of both land and sea. Like you had Luca and Alberto talking about oh my gosh, like this is how humans swim. Like, oh, it's so embarrassing. But then they can't ride a bike to save their life.
Can barely walk.
Can barely walk. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that as well. And then like their little phantom tail thing that they kind of like explains where Luca's like, oh, he's like, oh, my tail's gone. He's like, but I can still feel that it's there. And then it was kind of just like a passing line just to kind of move the plot forward. It's like, oh yeah, that's Phantom Tail. You'll get used to it. It's like, oh, cool. But I don't know. Any other thoughts? I'm sorry. I've been rambling on for a while.
I also love the school angle that they threw in, just showing how much Luca really loved learning.
Yeah, I like that.
Too. He wanted to go to school really badly, despite Alberto saying how dumb it is. It's just little things like that make Pixar the best at what they do. They just throw in these life lessons.
Yeah, and you really see the connection. I guess you wouldn't really say it's like a love story or whatever, but it is more of there might have been more of a little bit more of like a mutual attraction there. But you see that, Luca wants to, he's been in the ocean his whole life. I know this sounds exactly like Little Mermaid, but like it's very, very true. And even with Ponyo, there's like the theme and like the aesthetics and everything. It definitely reminded me of it, but there is more of there is a lot of similarities actually, but I won't get into that. I was just thinking too much into it, but I really like how Luca explains how he's he finds out like, oh, like there's space, like, oh, like what's in space, like, oh, we live in a solar system, and there's these galaxies and this entire universe, and it's like his world is so small, it's like his brain couldn't even comprehend what was going on because all he's known is like life under the sea. So
yeah, it's also kind of a big like analogy for just going off to college.
Yeah, a great coming of age.
A lot of parents don't want their kids to go off, and then when the kids do, they realize how much they've been missing and how much culture and stuff they've had to learn.
Yeah, it really is the the kids are like kids start to become, I guess, more self-aware of like, hey, like this part of your life has been it's been a big your childhood has been like such a big part of your life, and you can't really imagine yourself being anywhere else because that's all you've known. And then like,
yeah, you're in a bubble.
Yeah, it literally, yeah. And it takes like one like experience, like whether it's intentional or not, to kind of like push you in that direction. It's like, hey, like it's okay to leave home, but like everyone always ends up coming back at some point or another because it's all about curiosity. There's so many different like themes that you can kind of throw in, or kind of euphemisms, I guess you could say. Yeah.
We got to talk about that ending. Definitely teared up. They got me again. Pixar
again, man. I was Luca goes
on that train.
It sucks. It's like you see Alberto. He was so jealous of everything that Luca was learning from Julia, and it felt like Alberto was like kind of out of place, but it sucks because it's like Alberto, you could tell that Alberto wanted to go with them, but it's like I felt like he thought that it was like too late for him, and it's like Luca is younger, and Luca expressed all this interest in learning and whatnot, and and Alberto's like, oh, like who's ever gonna like accept you for who you are? You're a sea monster. They're gonna find out eventually. And it was kind of like Alberto was like guilting Luca into kind of like staying with him because Alberto didn't really have anyone else. So, but yeah, it killed me because it's like you see Luca, helps Julia get on the plane. I mean, not on the plane. I got off the plane. Get onto the train, and you see that. Did you catch like the wink between Alberto and Julia? Yeah, I was like, oh, like what's gonna happen? I didn't really know. I was like, oh, okay, he's probably gonna go with them. Like, it can be predictable at times, but it still kills you. But I
also love. I think it was the grandma who mentioned she was like, I think she said not everyone is gonna accept him, but he's gonna find people that will.
Yeah,
like that's definitely a big one there.
Yes. Oh, that is a great point, Devin. Because I almost totally forgot about that. And it like that was like the line that just that
makes everything click.
Yeah, that was like the line like they did in WandaVision when Vision is about to disappear for this third time, I guess you could say. And it's like, oh, it's like we're saying goodbye. It's like, and that stands to reason that we'll say hello again. I was like, oh. And then, of course, his whole line of, what is grief if not love persevering? I was like, oh, my God, that killed me.
Yeah, the killer line.
The killer line. Yeah, the killer line, Luca. That was a really great point, Devin. Thank you for bringing that up because I literally totally forgot about that. And that was the one thing that it's like, okay, I'm calling it.
That's when the tears were like, there they are. Like, right, here they come.
I'm going to go cry. It's all good. Man, oh man!
I mean, I just loved when the train's leaving, and you can see how excited Alberto is. He's like yelling, and
he wants his friend to succeed, in like ways that he couldn't. He totally could have went with them, but I mean, Julia's father needed help, and his father only has one arm. He's a big burly man, but we all need help sometimes. He helped him quite a lot as well.
Yeah, he got them like hundreds of fish because he knew where. That's another thing I thought was weird. It's like they're killing their own people, like willingly murdering thousands of their own neighbors.
Hey, guy, want some fish?
I wonder if those like smaller fish or just don't matter to the sea
To
monsters.
the sea monsters, probably not. Yeah, I mean, there has to be some kind of circle of life down.
Maybe it's like
ocean,
ants
right?
for us. Like we don't care about ants. They don't care about bluegills or something.
Guppies and bluegills and crawfish and all that stuff.
Because they got like thousands of them.
That was insane. I was like, oh, you sell out. But that's a good point. Maybe. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm like, they could definitely like kind of do like a mini series or something, but I'm like, not everything, you got to keep reminding yourself, not everything needs a sequel. We're so conditioned that everything needs to get a sequel. But at the same time, if they never explored further, I'll be okay with it because we saw what happened.
I wouldn't mind more on Alberto, like an Alberto's like either just like one-off like side thing or even a spin-off to see what happened to him and what he's got going on.
Yeah, it's like imagine putting that like being in the shoes, like because imagine how like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt felt, where it's like, oh, you're gonna do a part 2, and it's like, well, we don't know, and it's like man, it's like we totally could, but it's like, is it going to sour, what we have? Personally, I don't think it did, because I absolutely love the second film of part 2 for Quiet Place, but I could see where they're coming from, because it's like, man, like if you're in, if you're like the director like of Luca, or like someone in charge for Pixar animation, it's like, okay, do we make a sequel? Because obviously there have been sequels of Pixar movies, but the really good thing about Pixar movies at the same time is that a lot of them are one-offs, and that's what makes them so good.
Yeah,
you can kind of just
we don't need another Cars fiasco.
Seriously, I mean, Toy Story, regardless of what people think of Toy Story 4, I thought it was a really nice epilogue. Like, yes, they could have stopped at 3, but I think the way that they told 4 was good. Aside from a few issues, obviously, like I kind of didn't really like how they made Buzz like this idiot kind of character, but regardless, it was more of Woody's realization or whatever. But yeah, I see what you mean. Because what
did you think about that cat as the running joke throughout? I think I got pretty tired of the Vespa joke because they did it like a lot, but the cat kept coming back, and I thought that was funny.
The cat was like,
that cat could smell them from a mile away.
Really? He was like, I got my eyes on you. I thought that was pretty funny. It was out of all the characters, the cat and Julia's dad were most suspicious. But it's like, I wonder what the story would have been like if they didn't, if they had found out, because obviously you see that Luca turns on Alberto when he's like, sea monster, sea monster.
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking too.
Yeah, and then Julia finds out about obviously Alberto, then she finds out about Luca, but she doesn't mind as much as Luca. But then it's kind of like a realization where Luca's like, oh, she's gonna find out I'm a sea monster, and everyone's gonna like hunt me down and like kill me or something. But it's like, I think it was more shocked that Julia just didn't care. But it's like, it was weird because she was afraid with Alberto, but then when it happened with Luca, it was kind of just like she kind of just passed it off. So it was like, was she just more surprised that Alberto was a sea monster? Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I don't know. What do you think? Well, guys, we'll wrap up here too soon, because we're 46 minutes in. Oh my god,
we're going in. We're almost getting to the runtime of the actual movie.
Well,
halfway there.
Seriously. Well, yeah. Any thoughts on that really quick before we close out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just something I was just overthinking. But all right, so let's give our scores really quick before we say our goodbyes or a little wrap up. So, Devin, I'm thinking later on we should add like a new rank to our rating scale. So I feel like A, B, C, D, F if you want to, but above the A we get the S rank.
S tier.
The S tier. The S tier is like, obviously every movie has its issues, but it's like, it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, this is like a classic. This is one I will, rewatch on multiple occasions. But that's like something we need to save for special occasions where it's like, okay, yeah, like this movie, absolutely, like 100%. Like I just absolutely love, like no questions asked kind of thing. But I don't know. We'll work it out. But as for now, we'll take out the S rank because I don't think this is not an S rank movie. This is not an S tier film. But Devin, what is your ranking of Luca?
Like I mentioned before, I was a little worried the first half or so of the movie, but then once that ending hits, it just all feels right. It shot it up to like a B+ to me.
Okay,
like an 88.
Yeah,
just super solid, but not the top of Pixar.
I would actually agree with you right there because I'm actually also sitting at a B+. On Letterboxd, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which is where I feel like exactly where it needs to be. And like Devin said, it's not the cream of the crop. It is a really good film, and I think that everyone should go watch this, especially for it's summertime. But the main thing, not even like like the issue with like Alberto's father is that this should have been in theaters, like 100%. And I feel bad for the team over at Pixar worked so hard for this, and it's like this would have been amazing to see in the theater. And like there are some movies, quite frankly, where I think you can just skip the theater experience and just watch it at home. That's what I did for The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It, or The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And I felt like I wasn't missing out on anything. Like In the Heights, absolutely you need to see it in theaters. For A Quiet Place Part 2, 100% you need to see it in theaters. Unfortunately, Disney did not give consumers the option to choose. And I really wish they would have, because I would have saw it like 100%. Like it's good.
Yeah, it's so vibrant.
Yeah, like I would be sitting at 88, which would be B+, 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, and that's pretty much it, man. Like it was a good film. Like it did what it needed to do at the end of the day. So, and that's all there is to say about that. So before we close out here, of course, Devin, thank you always for coming on. We like to talk shop about movies and TV shows here, sometimes video games, but we're doing a little more of a different outlet for that nowadays. So, we're all pure film and TV and Hollywood news over here. The juices are flowing. We're insiders. Not really, but we do get, we are
stupido.
Estupido. Silencio Bruno. We are paid by HBO Max and Disney. But just a few quick little notes. What's coming up here on the podcast. Of course, if you're listening to this now, go listen to our Loki episode 2 review, because that'll also be up at the time this is released. And I believe this coming up weekend, I think on Friday. So this is dropping on Friday. I think Leo over at Geekly Goods and I are going to be reviewing iCarly, the revival. First 3.
How many? I was going to say, how many episodes are they dropping?
3, and then there's 10 more after. So like 13. Yeah, 13 total. So 3 on Friday, and then weekly after that.
I'll have to get in on that.
Oh, okay. All right. We got Devin coming in. I'm very, very excited.
I'm also seeing Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard on tomorrow.
I got a screening for that. Well, I got invited to one, and then I totally forgot about it. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe there might be there wasn't any spots left. And I was like, I don't have a desire to watch that movie, but I probably will.
First one. Because at this point, Ryan Reynolds is just must watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, it's gonna be for Ryan Reynolds. Like if I do end up watching it, because I also need to I have to catch up on so much stuff, man. I've been playing Ratchet and Clank. I've been covering all this news for E3, which was for the most part. But so next week, of course, we have our Loki episode 3 reviews. Our Loki reviews are gonna be dropping every single Wednesday for all you folks out there. Again, we have our iCarly revival episode 1 through 3 review on the pod. And also,
when's that happening?
Friday at 5:30 Central.
I actually have Friday off, which is very nice.
You and Leo both have Friday off. Like
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. Also, for the other podcast that we started up, Critics Play Games. We have been doing a lot of E3 coverage on there as well. We have three episodes up already. We have one covering like our E3 predictions, and then we kind of jumbled a few together. We did like Ubisoft and Gearbox for one day, and then we did Microsoft, and who else was on Microsoft's day? I can't remember. Oh, Square Enix, that's right. And then we're going to be talking about Nintendo Direct that happened. We're not going to talk about Capcom because I don't know why Capcom came to E3. I don't know why they did. I'm sorry. But from a business standpoint, I understand it, but at the same time, wow. So we're also going to be recording our Nintendo Direct E3 recap reactions about that. So that's going to be a separate episode on a separate podcast. Again, that's Critics Play Games. You can follow us over at Critics Play Pod for that, for all the announcements over there. So that's pretty much it. And also for our review, our main podcast here, Film Optix, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or on the platform of your choosing. We're just trying to get the word out there. We want to bring you guys the best content that we can. So it's been a crazy wild ride, with new years come new, challenges, whatnot. We try to keep up and up a little bit around here, up and up, or evolve, if you will. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, let me close out here. And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And make sure to check out the other shows over on MusicCityDriving.com and subscribe to our show so you never, ever, ever miss an episode. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Silencio, Bruno. È stupido.